This is going to be lively, I think, today. So please join us. Happy you're here. I'm Edwin Eisendrath, Congressman, former Republican Joe Walsh is here. We have an unvarnished conversation about our political world and about the crazy things the Republicans are doing and about how to take the fight to their turf. Right. So welcome. Come on in. Joe, these conversations we've had, I've gotten good feedback about them. Some people see them live, some people have downloaded them later, but people seem to like it.
So here's what I've discovered about Substack, and welcome everybody. Great to be with you. Always great to be with my friend Edwin. Punch those red hearts because that does something to the algorithm, which I think is good. What I've realized about Substack, my friend, is that these lives that we do, like we'll have a few hundred, maybe more people listening, but then we put it up out there, and then it's amazing how many people then go to it and watch.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
It's good
stuff. Yeah. Crazy week. My former party's crazy. A horrible week, a horrible shooting in Minneapolis midway through the week.
Can we talk about that?
Lead.
I am so angry. Look, first, my heart's broken for the victims and their families. But my anger is directed entirely at lying, hateful Republicans who once again want to use this tragedy to tear us apart. I mean, how dare they? And let's start with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, right? Because he doesn't care about the victims. He doesn't care about gun violence. He went after a reporter who said thoughts and prayers aren't enough. Now, in Vance's twisted autocratic dystopia, right? That's the same thing as saying, oh, you shouldn't pray. And nobody said it. No one, not anybody. And then he took to online to say there's a left-wing conspiracy against praying in a time of tragedy. I'm sorry, has he ever been to a black church when there's trouble? Does he not remember that guy named Dylan Roof, a man who walks the same political path that he does, went into Mother Emanuel Church, murdered people during a Bible study? Does he not remember the prayer service afterwards? Does he remember that Barack Obama, as president of the United States, led that prayer service, sang Amazing Grace? But apparently our side doesn't believe in that stuff. Shame on him.
Edwin, shame on him. By the way, again, it's a separate topic. J.D. Vance may be the most craven public political figure in our country right now.
There's a lot of competition, but I agree.
Oh, God, yeah. People got to wrap their arms around this guy. This guy is only, how old is he? Is he even 40? He's 40, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm saying yesterday, figuratively speaking, he called Trump Hitler. He changed his entire belief structure to get elected to the United States Senate. He and I did the exact opposite. He embraced Trump because he knew it was the way to help him professionally. I said goodbye to Trump knowing it would kill me. But this guy is a heartbeat away from the presidency, and he is smart, and he is craven, and he will say anything. Anything. And you're look, Edwin, you're right. You and I, this is why I love to talk to you. On a number of policy issues, you and I may disagree, and we may disagree on certain gun reforms. Fine. I'm a big Second Amendment gun rights guy. I get all of that. But my side, the MAGA right side, all they got is thoughts and prayers. That's all. Like, that's the beginning and the end of the sentence. They don't want to move beyond that. Now, I had some issues after Minneapolis with some folks on the left who said, I'm sick of thoughts and prayers. To me, it's simple. Thoughts and prayers are a natural human, God bless us reaction, but thoughts and prayers are not enough.
Not if we're going to fix the problem.
Boom.
Not if we're going to fix the problem. But you'll find people on the left and the right who do say crazy things. On the left, they're not in the White House. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and by the way, Edwin,
Democrats,
by the way, yeah, you're right. And I'm glad you said that because, again, a former Republican, we always believed if we threw the flag up there, Democrats were afraid to show they were patriotic. If we talked about family values and God and prayer, Democrats were loath to talk about it.
Yep.
I think what you're saying is Democrats love this country. I'm a Democrat now. Democrats
Yep.
pray. There are Democrats who believe in a God. What Democrats need to do is take the frickin' offensive on these issues.
I'm ready, but Barack led a prayer service, right? After that horrible tragedy. Yeah, Donald Trump up there and
Oh,
let him see if he can turn the Bible right side up and try and lead a prayer
yeah,
service, right? The
yeah.
hypocritical liar that he is. And then, that's not the only thing. I mean, Kash Patel leapt in on this question of gender. Kash Patel is the head of the FBI. He should do his job, which is to run an investigation instead of getting ahead of it and pretending there's a gender issue here. We don't know anything about that yet. And I'm sorry, that's not what that's about. This is about a shooting. Look,
So go ahead, Edwin. Continue.
I'm just so mad at them about this stuff. And these aren't the only shootings in Minnesota. It wasn't that long ago that somebody targeted, hunted, shot, and killed Democratic legislator and her husband, and shot and killed and didn't kill, shot and wounded another hunted Democratic legislators in Minnesota. Didn't hear from J.D. Vance then. Didn't hear from Kash Patel then. It's all bullshit. They don't care about crime.
And they don't care about gun violence. And I say that, Edwin, as someone who comes from the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the minute they got a hold of, oh my God, this evil killer, he might or might have been trans or whatever, they jumped all over it. You look at this guy, evil. He hated everybody. He hated himself. He was a sick, evil person. But then the reaction from the right was publicly, they said, again, okay, that's it. Transgenderism needs to be eradicated from the public square.
Right. And by the way, Democrats don't believe in prayer. Let's just use this as a wedge issue however we can. Right. I mean, I'm sick of them. These aren't wedge issues. People are getting killed. They don't care. Right. And so they're sending military here to my city because you know what? Something's going to go wrong. Somebody's going to get killed. And they're going to find a wedge issue with that too, because that's all they care about.
But you and I've said this before, in my Republican days, when I would huddle privately with we Republicans, we always believed we could go at the transgender issue or the gun issue or the prayer issue. And we always believed that Democrats would back down because they didn't want to engage. And there's a lot of truth to that. And as a Republican, Edwin, we never believed Democrats would bring a gun to a gunfight or a knife to a knife fight and fight till the end.
You're a Democrat. I'm a Democrat. And you and I are bringing it here.
Yes.
I mean, and if there's anybody else out there, who wants to run for office and needs a few, where's the ammunition? Come on in. The water's fine. And I'm not talking about, just so we're clear, I am not talking about actual ammunition and shooting anybody.
Yes.
No. Right?
I think that's certainly in the 3 months I've been a Democrat, that's the message I'm trying to get across. Take it from a former right-wing culture war guy. Fight the right on these culture war issues. Because Democrats, and by the way, remember you and I talked, Edwin, in that last presidential campaign, the Trump campaign spent $200 million on a transgender ad, and the Kamala Harris campaign utterly ignored it.
They walked away. It was a mistake.
Fight back. Are you telling me that most Americans agree with the right that transgenders should be eradicated? Hell no. Democrats, most Americans are with you on these issues.
I agree. I mean, and if we need proof, this week we flipped a legislative district in Iowa that Trump won by 11%, and I think she won it by 10. So that's like a 19 or 20%, change. And they're running scared in Iowa, right? Joni Ernst, senator, is not running again. The governor, Republicans, not running again. I think they understand that the people have had it with the thuggery and the lies.
In every special election since Trump won, Democratic turnout has been through the roof. Now, you may disagree with me, my brother. Trump's numbers are in the toilet, and Democratic voters are pissed off. but I don't think even next year Democrats can win by just saying Trump is bad. I still think Democrats need to, this is who we are, this is what we're going to fight for, in addition to Trump being bad.
I agree with that with a caveat.
Okay.
It's dangerous for Democrats to go down the policy path because we have a habit of campaigning with our heads, not our hearts.
Wonks, your policy
right?
wonks.
So I think we have to talk about the country we want, but talk about it from a values perspective, right?
Yes.
The country that doesn't believe our neighbors are demons. The country that doesn't believe that just because you look different, you're eating somebody's pets. Right?
Right.
I mean, like that stuff, we can fight the values fight and win on the values fight. If we talk about how we're going to do this stuff in detail, I put it in the briefing books, be honest with people, let them know what we're going to do policy-wise. But I don't think we win in a policy fight. Clearly,
Completely.
doesn't care about policy. If they did, I mean, the CDC, oh my God.
You're right, Edwin. It's appealing to emotions. What kind of America do you want us to be?
Yep.
Do you want to be the kind of America that where masked agents grab 82-year-old grandmothers off the street?
Right.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Is that the kind of America you want to be? And a time for choosing. You're right. I think if I were running for office next year as a Democrat, that's all I would ask is this the kind of America you want to be? And if it is, fuck it. Keep voting for those guys. But we're better than this. We're not cruel.
And we could talk affirmatively, as you say, about the kind of America we could be. You know, one where we begin to close this phenomenal wealth gap that people are like, ordinary people are like, what, am I working a billion hours? I'm barely getting ahead. And that tax cut just paid for Jeff Bezos's wedding in Venice. You know, like, are you kidding me? Well, it was like 90 private jets all came there, and we just.
By the way, for the record, neither you or I were invited to that wedding. I will say.
That's true. Well, I don't have a private jet. I couldn't get there.
Okay, you're Mr. Chicago. In a week or 2 or 3, you may have federal troops, National Guard troops on your streets. Okay, America, do you want to be in America where we put our military on our streets against our citizens? Yes or no?
Yeah. And the answer better be no. The answer better be.
For most of us, it would be.
Yeah.
I still believe that.
And you know what? And can you imagine we're going to send troops from one state into another? I mean, that's Civil War talk, right? That's not, I mean, these Texans are going to come up here to Chicago. I mean, first off, I want to say this in a way that isn't alarmist, right? They're not going home. And I'm not saying that because they're going to get killed. Why would they go back to Texas? They're going to come here. They're going to like it. They're going to be told, hey, why did your governor take you away from your family and your job and your life to come pick up the trash in our parks? Like, really? Seriously? Come here where people care about you.
Which, by the way, is what they're doing in D.C. day after day right now.
Right.
They're picking up trash.
Families. Yeah. They're not, right? The National Guard, this is volunteer stuff. They've been dragooned for this. God, they hate everybody.
And I'll focus again on my new political party. I've had so many Democratic consultants, my friend, tell me the last week, this crime issue, Joe, it's bad for us. That's a good issue for Trump. Democrats never do well engaging on the crime issue. Bullshit.
I agree
Stop with that.
Well, first, let's talk to candidates and not consultants.
Thank you.
I mean, the consultants, they huddle, they read the polling data. The problem with that kind of thinking is your party has succeeded in moving where America is, in getting them to go somewhere. The Democratic consultants look at where they are and go, well, we have to be in the middle of that. And of course, it keeps moving. What we need is leadership. And leadership says, I'm sorry, you're going in the wrong direction. Let's go in this way, and leads them in a better direction. You don't get there by following the polls. You get there by articulating where we ought to go.
Well, and what we need is authenticity. I've always believed way too many Democratic politicians have been driven by consultants, and they've been worried about, you ask a Democratic politician a question, you can see their head spinning. Oh my God, will this offend people? What do the polls say? What did my advisor say? When if you asked you or me a question, if you or I were a candidate, fuck it, we'd answer the question. We would say what we believed.
I just when I was an alderman, one of the older guys once put his arm around me and said, kid, I was 26.
Dad, you were young.
This business is all about authenticity.
Ah.
It's all about it. And when you can fake that, you can do anything.
Well, that I actually remember that line. I maybe remember you saying that before.
Oh, no.
but look at, in a weird way, Edwin, that's what Trump has done.
Yeah.
He's faked authenticity.
Yep, he has.
The average American doesn't think he's driven by consultants and polls.
Well, wait a minute. Did you see that last cabinet meeting? The average American is beginning to know what actually drives him. It is ugly as all get out.
That was, and I know it's easy to laugh at that, but I don't want to laugh. For 3 hours, adults got down on their knees
and kissed his ass.
Took turns kissing his ass.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened here in this country.
Right. Yeah. I think Kim Jong-un would be embarrassed. It was
God.
Right. So that's what drives the man. That's what drives the man. That titanic ego.
And it's just, Edwin, again, I know some of those people who sat in that cabinet meeting. I know Rubio. I know some of these guys. It doesn't surprise me, but it just blows me away that they can do that they can literally take their soul out of their body, put it over here, and be something else. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just hideous, right? Hideous. And the list of hideous this week, can you imagine in the middle of a wildfire going and saying, we're going to pluck some people out who are trying to save, houses and communities and put out the fire? No, we're going to take all those firefighters out and see if we can't pluck the ones here who may not be completely visa compliant, but they're fighting our fires and stop that. Like, wow, that is just mind-blowing.
And yet it's a simple question. Is this what you want America to be, American voter? Like you and I know, 90% of Americans want violent criminals who are in this country gone, illegally gone.
We want violent criminals, whether we import them or they're homegrown. We don't want them on our streets.
But not what Trump is doing now. Going in, as you and I've talked, going into Home Depot parking lots and going onto farms and all the rest, going into daycare centers and all the rest. That's not what America voted for, most Americans. But Democrats have to get in our faces about it.
Well,
you and I should run for office. Damn it, Edwin, you ought to run.
We would have fun for sure. But you know what? we need to train up a generation of fighters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's a really good, important point you made.
Yeah.
There are not enough fighters in my new political party. I know you and I have talked about what Gavin Newsom's doing.
Yep.
That's a way of fighting. I think J.B. Pritzker has been punching back.
I do too.
But there aren't a lot of them right now.
Yeah, there is a little bit of this, again, campaign consultant stuff that says don't interfere with your enemy, your adversary when they're self-defeating, right? But that, I think we've learned that doesn't work. Like, get in their face. Remind everybody why they're falling apart. Don't hope everybody will see it for themselves. And I see it all over the country, but I don't see it. I'm worried about what's going to happen when Congress comes back.
Yeah.
We got a budget that needs 60 votes. I am hoping the Democrats will have some spine.
Yes.
Spine. Every one of them needs to have a spine.
And I hope they keep the Epstein files in front of us.
Right? Pam Bondi said she has them. They're on her desk. They're going to be released any minute. She said it, right? Like, call her in front of Congress and ask her, were they on your desk or were you lying? And if you weren't lying, where'd they go when they left your desk? Could you
I mean,
send an aide to go get them? I mean, seriously.
that's such another great point. Like, to take to the American voter, do you want to live in a country without an independent Congress? Because that's what we have right now. Donald Trump should be being investigated for that. For he's using the Justice Department to go after his political opponents. I mean, if we had an independent Congress, there would be hearings on that right now, period.
Yeah. Instead, we're going to hear until 2050. Wait a minute. Didn't Hunter Biden have a laptop?
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like who gives a, you know, like we have a crime going on right in front of us, and they're going to say, "Wait, wasn't Al Capone from Chicago?" I'm sorry. Get over it. Like, let's solve this one.
And you and I are 20 minutes in, my friend. We haven't even talked about what that fucking quack RFK Jr. is doing to the CDC right now. I mean, Americans are going to die. Americans and people around the world are dying because of what Elon Musk did to USAID.
Right.
Americans are going to die and are dying because of what RFK Jr. is doing
and
to
let
our
me
public
say,
health.
I completely agree with you. I want to say it a little differently.
Yeah.
American parents are going to watch their children die. American parents
Fair.
are going to watch their children die because they didn't get them vaccinated. Can you imagine that? That's just heartbreaking. And what are they going to say then? It's Biden's fault? I mean, what are you going to? How do you talk out of that one? You're already. It's now you can't get a COVID vaccine coming into this season, and kids aren't going to be able to get vaccinated. We just got through one of the biggest measles outbreaks ever. I mean, people died. Two people in the U.S. died, and it affected parts of Mexico too. And nobody cared. I mean, nobody in Washington cared.
And by the way, talk about fighting back. Maybe I'm wrong about this, Edwin. I thought I read today that J.B. Pritzker, your governor, is looking into finding out how he and other governors can purchase the COVID vaccines that the feds now are outlawing.
Aren't you having deja vu from Trump 1, right? When governors were having to compete to protect their citizens from COVID because the federal government wasn't doing its job?
Yeah.
I mean, hello. And JB went through this, 4 years ago when he was 5 years ago when Trump was president. Same shit. It's appalling.
It is appalling. And again, it just shows what a vacant tool Trump is, because the COVID vaccine was, if again, in a normal world,
could have taken some pride for that.
A great accomplishment.
Yeah. I mean, a good public-private partnership, brilliant work in the private sector. By the way, brilliant research in our universities, all of which he's torching, just torching, right?
Okay. And the last one I'll mention is 2 days ago, Trump appointed an election denier to be in charge of election security at DHS.
Yeah.
And I'm just putting this in front of folks that, hey, at a bare minimum, Donald Trump will have National Guard troops in every precinct where Black and brown voters vote next year.
Yep,
and that's just going to be a part of what he is doing to try to mess with and overthrow the 26th election result. We got to be ready for it.
And what do you make of giving Ashley Babbitt military honors?
She's an insurrectionist. She committed insurrection against her own government.
She was shot and killed trying to take down America's democracy. It's what we've trained our soldiers to do since the Revolutionary War, right? She was killed trying to overthrow American democracy. And this week, we're giving her all military honors. And, oh, by the way, restoring Robert E. Lee's portraits to the Pentagon.
Do you see that? Yeah. I mean, so I don't believe Trump really believes much of anything. But you and I've said this before. In Trump 2, in this term, there are very smart very cruel people, cruel right around him.
Mhm.
And they're showing us every day what they are. And that like that Robert E. Lee studio, put that back up in the Pentagon. Put that back up in the Pentagon. I think it's a portrait of him on a horse being led by a slave. Put that up in the Pentagon. They're telling us who they are and what they want.
Yeah, and the rest of us have to show up and push them out. We have to
Yes.
protect our elections, and but between now and then, we have to protect our institutions. I mean, I don't know. Everywhere I go, I tell people, you got to hire a lawyer. Jenner is down the street. You know, they didn't cave to Donald Trump. Don't
Yeah.
give your money to a firm that did.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, I love Brown University. Don't send your kids there. Right? They signed a terrible deal.
They
Columbia
shouldn't.
University, terrible.
They made a deal with a tyrant. Why even make a deal? Well, you don't do that. But it's his enablers, man. It's his enablers that are
Yeah,
every bit as responsible for what he's doing, and all you and I can do. And you're banging away, I'm banging away. So many others are inform people and rally people and get people to get motivated to stay in this thing and then vote next year.
yeah. I mean, we got to call them out and call them out. Look, should be the easiest election we've ever had. It just should be the easiest election we've ever had. There is no way a good candidate should be able to be put on the defensive going into this election. You want to bring it on about Democrats don't believe in prayer. I raise you, Mother Emanuel, you lying sack of you know what. Bring it on. Like there is no way to put us on a defensive if we know what we're doing this time, and we should take it to them every day.
It reminds me, Edwin, of 2010 when I got elected in that Tea Party wave.
Yep.
And all we talked about was Obamacare. And we put Democrats on the defensive, and Democrats didn't know how to get off it. Democrats right now have 1,000 times more ammunition to run against Republicans than we did against Democrats back then.
Absolutely right. And, the string of tired, old, charges against the Democrats, godless, for example, like, bring it on. I'll take you to church. Right. I mean, like, there's just like, we have plenty of ways to say everything you charge us with is a lie. I'm going to show you. And it's all about the mirror that you're looking in. You're just describing yourself every day.
Thoughts and prayers, baby, are great, but thoughts and prayers ain't enough, damn it. That's what I want to hear my fellow Democrats saying, because trust me, former Republican, they will not move beyond thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, and I don't think lately most of them do much thinking, and I don't know what they're praying. And if they're praying to Trump, you know what? He ain't a god. It's coming as a surprise, right? Like, so
I'll tell you a little inside baseball though, as we close. I've had conversations with a couple Republican members who really they're astonished by how successful Trump has been. And more true believers now are in that Republican caucus, which is frightening. But they kind of believe that Trump's almost invincible. They're taking that false sense of security into next year's election. I think it's wrong, but they kind of, in a weird way, think he's invincible.
Well, good. Last time a president around 40% or wherever he is in the polls,
he's below that.
Yeah, right. That is not in politics invincible.
Oh my God. No, that means he's hemorrhaged a lot of his Black and Latino support.
Yeah.
Now, the concern is
turnout.
Yeah, these people may just say, screw it, I'm not voting. Democrats got to get them to come out and vote for them.
That's exactly right. You know what? And I believe we will. And I know in Chicago, the importing of troops from Texas will definitely mobilize people.
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you believe he will send troops to Chicago?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. And you know what? Chicago's pretty clean, but I'm sure we could find some lots that they could spend their time cleaning up. I mean, right? Or they can hang out by the Bean downtown and enjoy the view. But the people here are great. And the people are going to say to them, why are you here and not with your families?
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, or call Governor Abbott and tell him to bring back those buses and send more people and move here. Like, let's reverse the tide of moving to Texas. You
Yeah.
know, bring
Yeah.
the talent back where we appreciate them, where we actually have universities that want them to research and do all that stuff. Come on
Well,
in, you'll do well here.
well, and I do believe, Mr. Chicago, that if and when he does, I think you'll see Chicagoans rally and protest in a big, big way
Yes, and
against it,
peaceful
peacefully.
protests. Yep,
Yeah,
we will. Absolutely will. Well,
completely.
Joe, as usual, fabulous conversation. Thank you. Keep it up. I know you are indefatigable and everywhere these days,
Right
and I
back
think it's
at
great.
you.
Great.
Thank you, my friend. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Talk to you next week.
See you, my friend.
Bye.